everybody, this is Elizabeth from Silvernest Homeschooling, Mom of 4, and this is my secret behind the wall closet that I use to hold school that we are potentially going to use in the future, usually history and then some Christmas books. And I thought I would take you through and just show you what's there. I haven't tidied any of this. This is exactly how it is when I open it to grab stuff from it, or if the kids are interested in grabbing something, of course they have access to it. This is where I've been storing my extra supplies for if they need like a notebook or something. But under here is a wonderful pile of English ideas that you could use for your middle schoolers. Funny stuff is a proofreading exercises for the sense of humor. These have been great for every one of my kids. They take you through, you can photocopy and pull out the idea, or you can have them write it again. And then it has different corrections at the bottom. So, but they're all really funny. Daddy, our caterpillar's good to eat, asked little Emily. I told you not to mention such things during meals. Now eat your dinner, said her father. Emily's mother was a bit more patient. Why do you ask that, Emily? She asked. Because I saw one on Daddy's lettuce. Emily said, now it's gone. So yeah, everyone is funny. Great for middle school. It was recommended to me by a middle school English teacher, and I am grateful for it. These are spelling drills. I have a belief that many kids are just born with the gift of spelling or not spelling, and that lasted me for a while. It was true. The more books they read, the better spellers they became. But I had one kid that kind of slipped through and got to middle school and still was really struggling, and so I started having him do these, and then I used them for my other daughter as well, and they're great. They're just straight up learning how to memorize different spelling rules and then practicing them. And we do the method where once you've mastered it, you can move on. It is Christian based, so it does have some different scriptures and things inside it, but I just use it because I think it's really well done. All right, the other one I really love and my kids enjoyed was Hot Fudge Monday, which is grammar. So tasty ways to teach parts of speech to have students who have a hard time swallowing anything to do with grammar. But actually my kid that enjoyed grammar and my kids that didn't all found this book helpful. Again, recommended by my friend who recommended funny stuff. This is great. Prepositions rarely work alone, so they'll explain it, and then you have a project to do with it. And what I did for my kids, I would say, hey, you need to learn more about this idea, because I would notice that they weren't really understanding that concept. And so I would make them choose one project from the concept for a little while, and then once I felt like they understood it, we would switch. There was a whole bunch of ideas for verbs, whole bunch of ideas for nouns, prepositions, conjunctions. So again, I am a mastery approach. If you know what a noun is, you don't really need to like belabor it. But if you don't understand, this is a great way for middle school or maybe high school if you have somebody who struggles. That's a great way to help them master those concepts. This is also my shelf where I hold my Washington State history, which is where we live, books. And so this is one of our books, Mount St. Helens. And another Mary Frances garden book. Again, my daughter was really, really into Mary Frances series. And so I went and grabbed all of them. And now I kind of regret it because, not that I regret the books, they're great, but my kids just outgrew them faster than they could read them. But this is sweet. They love the cooking one. And when she talks to her pots and pans and they teach her how to cook. And then this one, she has all these animals and stuff that help her learn how to garden. So super cute. We like to use gather rounds. This is where I keep some of my teacher's guides. So this was one of my absolutely favorite units ever. Intro to Psychology. Highly recommend for middle school, high school. We use them as a supplement, not as a main curriculum. But I love unit studies, and they have helped us cover things in short 6 to 8 week chunks that maybe would be harder to get to otherwise from a biblical point of view, and very engaging. So teacher's manual, and then each student, no matter what age, gets their own workbook. All right, another way we taught grammar was Illustrating the Points Super Grammar, and it's all comics. So I've had all of my middle schoolers read this book to help them just understand the basics of grammar. It was really fun having my one kid that didn't think he was very good at any of this go off to college and realize that he was the one kid in his group that knew how to write a thesis and knew how to write a 5-paragraph essay and, understood maybe a little more than he thought he did. I also have the teaching manual for level 8 handbook. And so this is the Essentials in Literature and Essentials in Writing teacher's manuals with all the corrections. And so my daughter next year will be able to do this because I've already taken my oldest daughter through there. All right, bunch of papers. It's probably just paper. Oh, old photos. And then, let's see, I don't even know what's in here. It's time to, oh yeah, more teacher's guides. Middle Ages. And Gather Around Europe. And yeah, so great work. I like to, I print off the pages, and so you can keep them on your computer if you don't want to print them, but I like to have paper copies of everything that we've done in case I can use it again, because I buy the one that lets me have access to all of the ages, and so my older child can take something and then my younger child can get it in like the elementary version, and then we can do it again in high school later on. So this is all their Homeschool for Vikings unit and my teacher's manual for Vikings unit. And that is what's on this like 1/2 shelf. I hope that was interesting and fun. More of an actual curriculum haul that we've actually used and has actually been useful on this shelf than maybe some of my other shelves. These probably have outgrown these. We are doing Washington State history next year, and there's a whole bunch more of these books on this shelf that I will be taking you through. I'm not ready to let go of this until I get out of middle school. Not ready to let go of this until I get out of middle school. Definitely not ready to let go of this until I get out of middle school. But yeah, so yeah, hope that was helpful, especially if you're looking for English stuff that you're trying to aim for. And we will show you this shelf next. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.